Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we are discussing fantasy. I have so many fantasy books on my bookshelf that I have not read yet. So I'm going to go through my fantasy TBR. So just fantasy books that I have not read yet or potentially rereads, I don't know yet. But first of all, you guys have to look at my sweatshirt. Look how cute this is. It says Silver One. This is a Fourth Wing inspired sweatshirt. I got it off of Etsy. It is from Chapter Catchers. I think they have a website and they're also on Etsy, so definitely go check them out. They have acotar themed, Fourth Wing, they have a bunch of stuff. I have like 2 t-shirts that are acotar inspired, and then I just got this Fourth Wing one because I read it and I was obsessed with it, so obviously I had to get a sweatshirt. But let's just get into my fantasy TBR. I'm gonna gather all my books and then I'll be back. So my fantasy shelf is basically emptied now. As you can see, there's like no books on there. That just shows how many fantasy books I've read. Like, I have not read any. And I'm hoping that this year I will get more into fantasy. I've just been in such a romance kick lately. I don't know why, but I haven't been wanting to pick up a fantasy book for a while. I don't know. I've been trying to start fantasy books and then I'll just end up stopping and then picking up a romance book. So I need to stop doing that because I have so many good books that I've just heard amazing things about, and I need to just get on it and start tackling my fantasy TBR. So I'm done talking. Let's just get through my fantasy TBR. So the first one is a trilogy. This is the Prison Healer trilogy. So the first one is The Prison Healer. The second one is The Gilded Cage. And then the third one is The Blood Trader. This trilogy became popular like 4 or 5 months ago, I believe. And I saw quite a few people talk about it. So I just wanted to buy the whole trilogy because I did hear that it was really good. So I didn't want to just buy one because I'm so bad about that. I'll just buy the whole series. I don't know what it's about. It's about a 17-year-old and she has been fighting for survival in a death prison for 10 years. I don't know, I like to go into fantasy books blindly. I don't like to ruin anything for myself, but this is definitely an option that I can pick up soon because it is a completed trilogy and I don't want to start a series in fantasy that's not complete yet because after Fourth Wing, it's hard for me to wait that long for the next book to come out. Another popular fantasy book that came out, when did this come out? I can't even remember, but that is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I've seen this everywhere, and this is also going to be a trilogy, I believe. It says, she is the very thing he has spent his whole life hunting. He is the very thing she has spent her whole life pretending to be, and fate ensured they would find each other. So it looks like it might be an enemies to lovers, I believe. But I know a lot of people love this book, and the second one comes out this year. This is definitely an option that I've been wanting to pick up, but I've just been a little bit nervous because it's so hyped up. But I definitely want to get to this one. Another trilogy, but I only have the first 2 books. That's The Cruel Prince, and then The Wicked King is the second one. And then the third one is The Queen of Nothing. Pretty much the only thing that I know about this is that there's something with like tails. Like he has a tail or something. Like the king has a tail. I don't even know. But it says that she was 7 when her parents were murdered, and she and her 2 sisters were stolen away to live in the treacherous high court of Fairy. 10 years later, Jude wants nothing more than to belong there, but many of the Fae despise humans, especially Prince Carden, the youngest and wickedest son of the High King. To win a place at the court, Jude must defy him and face the consequences. I've heard mixed reviews about this trilogy. I know some people really love it, and some people are kind of like, it's okay, it's not great. But I definitely do want to give it a try. The next book I have that I just bought randomly because it has sprayed edges, but this is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. Hopefully I'm saying that right. This one has really good reviews on Goodreads, and I've heard It's pretty good. This is another one that I don't know. I know that they go to an island and there's like magical things and people on the island. It says a magical island, a dangerous task, and a burning secret. It definitely seems unique. Like, I've never heard of a story like this before, so it'd be interesting to read. But I just thought that it was a super pretty cover, and then the sprayed edges, like the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, was super pretty. So that's why I bought it, but I'm gonna get to it eventually. Okay, and then this is kind of a longer series. I have not bought the other books because I got a Kindle and realized that they're all on Kindle Unlimited. But the first one is A Touch of Darkness. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling, I believe. And this is by Scarlett St. Clair. And then the second one is A Game of Fate. This is, I think this is just Hades' point of view, maybe. They're technically two series, but they intertwine. So you're supposed to read A Touch of Darkness and then go into A Game of Fate and alternate between both series because they take place in like the same story, but they're different point of views or something like that. I don't really know how it works. But it's the story between Hades and Persephone. They are all on Kindle Unlimited right now. I don't know if they're going to be staying on there, but I definitely want to get to it soon because it seems interesting. And then we have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I read Caraval, I think I read it in 2022, and then the beginning of 2023 I finished the trilogy. And this is the start of her other trilogy. This one deals with Evangeline and Jax. And Jax we see in Caraval in like the last two books, I believe. All three books in this trilogy are out right now. I've just been waiting for the paperback versions. So I have been ordering them as they come out in paperback, but it's been really hard for me to put this off because I absolutely love Caraval. That was one of my favorite fantasy trilogies and like one of my favorite books of all time. So I have really wanted to read another one of her books. So I feel like I'm gonna get to this sooner than I think. Like, I don't think I'll be able to wait for all three books to be in paperback. So I might just read this one and then read the other two on my Kindle until they come out in paperback, because I already have The Ballad of Never After. I have that one pre-ordered in paperback. So I'm gonna get to this one soon because I've heard amazing things. I heard it's better than Caraval, so I want to be the judge of that and see if it is better. And then we have Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. I kind of just bought this on a whim when I went to Barnes & Noble in my Barnes & Noble Shop With Me vlog that I posted over Bookmas. I saw a couple people talk about this and I heard that a lot of people love it, but there's also two books that you're supposed to read before this because they are in the same world. So that's why I haven't picked this up yet. I just bought it because it's a super pretty cover and that I've heard great things about it. But now I'm thinking that I should probably read the first two that are in a different series because I think that makes the story better. That's why I've been putting it off. But eventually, once I get those other two books, I can't even think of what they're called right now. Maybe eventually I'll get to this one, but it's definitely on like the back of my physical TBR for fantasy. And then we have kind of a newer release. This is Never by Jessa Hastings. This one is a Peter Pan retelling. It's about Peter and Daphne. I heard kind of mixed reviews about it. Some people were really disappointed by it because they loved Magnolia Park so much. And then they read this and they were like, it's not great. But I still want to read it. The cover is absolutely gorgeous. I love the cover. But I have read another Peter Pan retelling. I read Hooked by Emily McIntyre, and I really liked that. I gave it 5 stars. So I want to see how this one compares to that. And since this is not a trilogy or a series, I definitely want to get to this one fairly soon, and it's a new release. So this is on the top of my TBR. Kind of a long series. I have most of the books. I don't have all of them, but that is the Shatter Me series. So it's Shatter Me, Unite Me is a novella. There's 2 novellas in Unite Me. Unravel Me, Ignite Me, Restore Me, and then Find Me is another 2 novellas. I just have been putting this off because it is such a long series, but I heard that it's amazing. And the only thing I really pretty much know about this book is that everyone loves Aaron Warner. So I don't know. I don't know if he's in the first book or not, but I know a lot of people love him. Eventually I'll get to it. It's just such a long series that I'm like kind of put off by it. And then we have another trilogy. This is the Serpent and Dove trilogy. The first one is Serpent and Dove. The second one is Blood and Honey. And then the third and final one is Gods and Monsters. This one is about a witch and a witch hunter, and they have to get married. So it seems like it'll be like enemies to lovers. I've only seen a couple people talk about this, and I feel like I haven't seen anything bad about it. It definitely seems interesting since it's a witch and a witch hunter. Like, I don't know, does he know that she's a witch? I don't know, it'll be interesting. But we have that trilogy as well. 2 huge books that I have been putting off. I definitely am not going to get to this in the next few months because I have another series that I want to read before it. But this is Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. The first one is House of Earth and Blood, and the second one is House of Sky and Breath. The third one comes out at the end of this month, and that is House of Flame and Shadow, I think. But these 2 are just so long, and I heard that it's a lot of world building and it takes a while to get into it. I heard that you should read acotar first and then Throne of Glass and then dive into Crescent City. So I finished acotar last summer, I think, and then I'm going to start Throne of Glass fairly soon, maybe even next month, I don't know. That's another series that I've been putting off because I'm nervous. These 2 I just bought because they're special editions, and the covers are beautiful. Hopefully they'll release the 3rd book with the special edition too, so it matches. And then we have another series. I only have the first 2, but I think it is a trilogy, I believe. So the first one is Renegades by Marissa Meyer, and the second one is Arch Enemies, and the final one is Supernova. I have not read a Marissa Meyer book, but I heard that the series is pretty good and one of her best. She also has, I think I have another book, and yeah, I have another book of hers in my TBR. I believe it's like 2 groups that are competing against each other. It's the Renegades, and they're like humans with extraordinary abilities. And then there's villains, I don't know, that doesn't say what they're called. I believe that they work against each other and then they come together and work to probably fight off another group of villains. I don't know, that's just what my guess is. But I want to get to this pretty soon. I need to get the third and final book too. And then we have another series. This is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. We have Kingdom of the Wicked, Kingdom of the Curse, and then Kingdom of the Feared. I think this one, her sister's murdered and then she works together with Wrath, I think. Yeah, so her twin sister's murdered and she wants to find the killer, so she has to work with one of the wicked sons. And the second one, I think, says this one you get another sinful prince, and I don't know about the third one. I definitely want to get to this soon because she just came out with this one, Throne of the Fallen, and this is in the same world as these. This is about Envy, one of the wicked sons. So I want to read this and then hopefully get into this because I heard that this book is amazing. And then we have a new book that I just got a week ago, I believe, and this is Lightlark by Alex Astor. I haven't seen too much about this, but the second one recently came out and it's called Nightbane. This one says, welcome to the Centennial. Every 100 years the island of Lightlark appears for only 100 days to host a deadly game. So it kind of sounds like the Hunger Games, maybe. Lie, cheat, betray, even as love complicates everything. It definitely does seem like the Hunger Games. So I want to read this. I saw someone on Instagram talk about it, but it seems like it'll be good. I don't know how many books are going to be in this series, but it looks like they all have like different curses and powers. I don't know, it definitely seems interesting. And then we have this book that I've had on my TBR for a while. This is Heartless, another book by Marissa Meyer. She's the one that wrote Renegades and Arch Enemies, that series I talked about. This one is a Queen of Hearts retelling. This one I actually have on my TBR cart, so I want to get to it fairly soon. And this is definitely just an easier book to get to because it's not part of a series. So this one I can definitely read. I have heard mixed reviews about it, but I love Alice in Wonderland and retellings that deal with Disney movies because I love Disney. It'll be interesting to see how the Queen of Hearts story is told in a different way to make you like her because she's a villain. So I'm definitely excited to read that. I don't know why I've been putting it off. And then we have Vow of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. This one I actually started. I read like one page. I even had it all tabbed out, but I just wasn't feeling it for some reason. Like what I said earlier, I'm not feeling fantasy right now. But This one is the second book. The first one was Dance of Thieves. I read that one in September or August or September, I think. And I definitely really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I just can't remember how it ended. I know I was upset about it ending on a cliffhanger. I just can't take breaks between series, especially fantasy, because I forget what happens. So that was definitely a mistake that I made. But I do remember really liking it. So hopefully eventually I will read this. I didn't even take the bookmark out because I want to get to it soon. Then the last book that we have on my fantasy TBR is the biggest series that I have, the series that I've been putting off. It is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. So the first one is The Assassin's Blade. This is all the novellas that you're supposed to read before Throne of Glass. I know some people read it like after Crown of Midnight or Heir of Fire. I don't know what the order is, but I know a lot of people say to read it first because there are spoilers that can be ruined in Throne of Glass. So then the second one, the first one technically in the series is Throne of Glass. And then we have Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, and I think these two you're supposed to tandem read, so you read them at the same time. You read like a couple chapters in this book and then a couple chapters in this book. I know they take place at the same time. If you look online, you can find like a reading order for it. The last one, the big book, is Kingdom of Ash. I've just been putting it off because it is such a long series. I am making it my goal to get to it in the next month or two. For sure by like March or April, I want to have started it because I want to read Crescent City. Those are all of my fantasy books on my physical TBR. I do have some on my Kindle that I guess I'll talk about. I have Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. Ruthless Vows just came out. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this series, and I want to read it so bad because it's another one that has been really popular and hyped up. And then another series that I have is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. It's 2 books and then a novella, and they're all on Kindle Unlimited, so that's another series that I want to get to. Another one is Harry Potter, but I'm going to save that for next fall, I believe, because it just seems like a fall type of series. Another series that I've heard about that's also on Kindle Unlimited is the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. I'm not sure how many books are in this series, but I'll put them up here. They have really good reviews. I don't know what they're about, but I've seen them popping up randomly. So I have that on kind of like the back burner just because I have so many other series that I want to get to. And then the Book of Azrael, I don't know how to say it, but it's The Gods and Monsters by Amber B. Nicole. This book I heard is, if you like acotar and Fourth Wing, then you'll like this book, I believe. I just saw this on Instagram a few days ago. So I'm definitely interested in reading this one as well. But that's going to be it for this video. I hopefully will be doing a lot more videos dealing with fantasy because I want to start reading more because all the other fantasy books that I've read I've absolutely loved. That's going to be it for me for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please give it a thumbs up if you did and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!